I'm Jimmy Murphy. I'm a director at Publicis Dublin and a part owner. My job, I guess, is varied. It encompasses a lot of strategy and client service, but essentially I lead the agency response for clients and their problems. Publicis is described as a unique creative consultancy. And what that means is we used to be called an ad agency or an advertising agency, but we recognized about 12 months ago that doesn't really describe exactly what we do anymore. We do a lot of advertising, of course, but we do a lot more now. So we do a lot more consultancy in service design, in business design, in customer experience and things like that. And that's really the way that our industry has changed a bit. The creative process, there is a cliche about advertising being people staring out windows, and I think there is an element of that, to be honest. There is a bit of thinking fast and slow in agencies. So the thinking slow stuff is where you have to slow down and be creative. And that is a unstructured, people would describe as inefficient process at times. But that's really important because it's kind of the magic, and that's the stuff that we do really well. But at some point, you have to start thinking fast and you have to start implementing and executing. And for that, agencies have to be incredibly lean and agile. And I think we are nowadays. We've improved a huge amount in terms of that efficiency. So there's still some truth to the cliche of staring out the window looking for inspiration. But I think we're a lot more professional in the way we do things these days as well. We've won quite a few awards recently, both in ICAD, for example. And ICAD would be known for their creative awards, really, and they recognize the craft of creativity. And that's really important. But we also won a lot of awards, including Agency of the Year at the Smart Awards. The Smart Awards is I think the Smart Awards have done a really good job of evolving their awards into something that really reflects what happens in agencies at the moment, which is that we don't just do advertising or direct response. We do a whole lot of stuff outside of that, a lot of consulting and a lot of business problem solving. So I think that the Smarts are really strong because they reflect that. There is a lot of debate between our creativity and effectiveness. Are they exclusive or do they come together? There's a lot of research that will demonstrate that the most creative ads are the most effective advertising. I think that's indisputed at this point. However, creativity for creatives, for its own end is never. It's not going to help a brand. It's not going to help anyone. It's certainly not going to help the reputations of advertising agencies. So, I think these things are intertwined, interlocked, and they should always be that way. Our business has changed quite a lot in the last few years. Traditional comms is probably less effective than it was. People are getting their news from different sources. People are making up their own minds and looking at, sites that review lots of things. There's a lot more information out there. Clients' business problems can't necessarily be solved by a strong comms campaign. Sometimes we need to go deeper into their business and do a lot more consulting. So we're now consulting, for instance, on service design for our clients. We're consulting on improving the customer experience, and we've done big projects which are not really comms related at all with our major clients like Ireland Air and Irish Rail and VHI Healthcare in this area. And it's really helping them solve problems at a level that's probably a bit deeper and a bit further back into the business than just pure comms alone. As well as my day job, I'm also the president of IAPI, which is the Institute of Advertising Practitioners. And we've made this one of our 3 key strategic objectives for the last 2 years, which is to increase the diversity in advertising. With my colleagues on the board in IAPI, we've several initiatives, and we benchmark every year how many people are coming in from different walks of life. So we've actually made a lot of progress, particularly on gender, but I think there are some other facets of diversity that we really need to address, and it really is a priority for us. Like any other sector, we are under constant pressure to prove the effectiveness of what we do. In order to make cohesive and persuasive arguments at board level, we need to convince people that if you invest in advertising and marketing, you will get a return on that investment. I think in order to do that, data has become more important. So recording in a way that is consumable the effectiveness of campaigns is a prerequisite. I also think, as well as recording it, because we actually do quite a lot of that, and we have some really good ad effects awards that are done through IAPI, is to actually use that data. It's to every time you go with an argument to a board, to maybe an argument for budget or to extend a campaign or something like that, you got to bring the data with you. You got to bring the proof with you. And I think we need to not just record it, but actually use it in our day-to-day, making arguments and trying to persuade people to invest in our business.